Hello and welcome to What's My Suggestion. Today I'm going to introduce about optional class in Java 8. Now, what is meant by optional class? What is the use of optional class in Java 8? With what intention they have introduced this particular class into Java 8? That's what we are going to learn in today's class. We have so many concepts available. They have upgraded so many features in Java 8, where in today's session I'm going to introduce optional class. What is the use? First, we will be considering some scenarios in our project. Let's take an example. Whenever you are taking the inputs from the user, sometimes the value will be null. Sometimes user will not be entering the value. These kind of scenarios, what we used to do in our previous versions of Java code, we used to manually validate the data, in the sense we used to keep some validation methods. We used to check is null or not. Based on is null, otherwise is empty, we used to validate the data, where that particular procedure from now onwards you can stop it, as we have optional class in our Java 8. This is the class which is introduced into the package util package, where this is another utility which we have got into Java 8. Now, what is the specialty of this particular class? What are the methods available? First, let me explain what is the specialty. This is the class which has been introduced into Java 8, and the package, util package, as I said already, this is majorly meant for checking the null values and whether the data is available or not, to validate the data which we got as an input into the variables, where whichever the data you have received into the objects, if you need to check whether the data is present or not, then we can make use of this optional class. How this optional class will validate? By making use of its method, and which is the parent class for this particular optional class. How many types of methods will be there? All these questions I am going to answer now. This is the subclass of object class. Of course, all the classes of Java are subclasses of object class, that we are very much known. Next, this particular option class is also derived from object class only, where even this optional class is holding the methods of our object class, I mean parent class. What are the methods? Regular methods like toString, equals, notify, all those methods are there as usual. Apart from that, we have the special methods like first or else. What is the use of or else? You can see what I am trying to do. This is my input variable or else. If suppose if that input variable is not having any value, we will ask this particular function to return this particular value. Let's take an example. If this input variable is not containing a content, if it is null, then what is the value we are going to return instead of null? Let's say 0. Integer variables, if you need to initialize it to 0, don't use constructor. You can use this particular or else. so that if it is not having the data, it returns this particular value. That is the first method. Next, optional of nullable. Suppose it returns the optional describing specified value if it is not null, otherwise returns empty optional. What it means? Here we will be checking of nullable, whether the data is nullable or not. If it is nullable, then what is the data we are going to return over there? If you want to return some empty data, you can keep that kind of validation. You can check this is a static. Directly you can apply these methods for the variables. Few more methods. Is present. It's again similar to your validation check like nullable. Here, if you need to check whether the data is entered or not into the variable, let's say you have taken an input from the user, that particular data, if it is not available, user might have not entered the data, then it will be empty. That particular scenario, whether if you need to check whether it is empty or not, you can use this method where it returns boolean value. If it is not available, then you can assign some default value. It is almost very similar to our trim and is null. Combinedly we used to perform the operation previously. Right now with a single function we can perform the operation. Next, get function. This is a function. This is meant for returning the value available in a variable. You can see get is meant for, similar to our POSO class get methods, it is meant for returning the values available into a variable or to an object. If the value is not available in the respective targeted variable, then it will throw an exception. You can see no such element exception if the data is not available. So before using this particular method, if you want to avoid the exception, first you check whether the data is available by making use of is present. If it is available, then you proceed with get, so that you can get the value if it is present. If not, you have to handle the exception. Alright, now I am going to show you an example by making use of these methods in one simple example. As I said already, you can see I have upgraded my JDK to 1.8, that by making use of Java build path, add library. I have added the library. Yes, yeah, as I said, I have added the library, JRE system library, and I have installed JDK 1.8 in my machine. And alternate JRE or environments, you can choose the respective installed JREs. You can choose the respective JREs which is available in your machine. Okay, in that format I have added the JRE over here. Next, now this is the first example which I am going to introduce as a feature of Java 8. Now what I am going to do in this example, you can see optional, it is a class of util package. Already I said these terms. Now first what I am going to do over here, you can see this example, it is taking two integer values b as well as a which is of type optional and integer. So we are expecting two integer values over here. And as I said in the slide, I'm using that A and B is present functions from optional class to check whether the data is available or not. If the data is available, it returns true, else it returns false. Okay, so we'll get a boolean ranges over here. Now A dot or else, I know that I will be passing A value as empty, null value. So A dot or else, that means if A variable is not holding any data, instead of that particular thing, I have to assign 0 to value 1. Whereas, I am repeating it again, A dot or else, in A variable, I have a doubt that I will be getting the input either it is empty or null. So I am checking by making use of or else, A dot or else. If it is not having the data, I will be assigning 0 to value variable. Okay. Next, whatever B variable is holding the data, that I am getting. See, here I am using get function from option class, where optional class get function will return the value which is available in the B variable, storing into value 2. Later I am performing addition of both value 1 and value 2, and I am returning the integer type return value. I hope this function is very much clear for you. Next, now this particular function I will be calling with the values which I want. See, first example, I am creating an object. Next, I am creating one integer variable. Intentionally I am assigning the value null. Second object I am creating, I am assigning the value 10. Now optional A equal to optional dot of nullable value. What is the meaning of this? Whatever the value it is there, you can see, yeah, of nullable value, directly the nullable value we are assigning over here. Next, what about value 2? Whatever the value 2 is there, even if it is nullable, here I have assigned the value to A. Here of, that means this will assign only the value to B. It will not allow null. In the sense, here null is there, so I have used nullable. If it has found nullable 2, it will assign. When it comes to this one, if it founds nullable, it will not assign. Only if it is a value, it will assign to B. Finally, that A and B values I will be passing as parameters to some function. Now the control will be switching to this. It performs the operation and returns this result. You can see, first result, A is present, it is false. Obviously it is null. And B, it is true. And here I have replaced, instead of null I have replaced with 0. 0 plus 10, it is returning 10. This is what the first example which I thought of to introduce for you from Java 8. If you want more updates in Java 8 or any other concepts in Java, please subscribe to my channel and place a comment on what topic you are looking for. Thank you.